G'day guys, good morning and hope you had a good weekend. Couple of birthdays first. Seth Durkis turns 29 on Tuesday the 23rd and Cobbs turns 57 on Saturday the 27th. So happy birthday to those guys, see them kicking around. This week's work, we've got a couple of Test Connect UIDs, some HV and LV maintenance, poles and a heap of guys working on the Plex still. And that was it for this week. Switching, so I've just got this put in front of me because Reese isn't here, so relevant ideas and improvements identified from the previous week. When putting green pit lids back on, take care not to dislodge any of the fuses. Crews this week inadvertently knocked the fuse out of the fuse panel when putting the lid back on. It's always a good idea to test across low voltage open points before closing when you can to confirm there is no potential difference. For example, a low voltage open point where one side goes to underground cables, possibility of cable fault. Likewise, a good idea to check voltage after operating LV tie to confirm full supply. General, we're looking at getting some test lamps so we can reverse sync the generators. And good news stories, it was picked up in a briefing that an AD was required, was missing for a job. So good work picking this up and asking the question. Always speak up if you're unsure about something. It's a great example. Current number of days is 27 days. So there's a switching alert, one alert last week, 10th of Feb out at VR38, Venus Bay. Crew was out there, does a switching to change some surges on a voltage regulator. They've gone to place this, close it into non-auto, and they've opened the wrong lever and tripped the feeder. They didn't have mobile service where they were, so they drove up the hill or wherever they went to call knock, explain what they did, mended the switcher sheet, went back and put the power supply back on. So it doesn't say, but I assume that's one of the old clunker type of closers where you've got the green and the red switch there.
Just adding to that, the guy who actually was overseeing the checkout, they had a discussion, and the gentleman involved has probably done this hundreds of times and has been a country lad all his working life. Complacents have just got it wrong. They talked about it and they still got it wrong. So you can get caught out really easily. Think about it, talk about it, explain what you're going to do before you do it. It's just such a simple mistake. The guy's really embarrassed. It's just got it.
Thanks, Coley. Corey's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 near misses and hazards to go through, so reported recently.
One of them is on inspection, they've got a broken saw handle and a hole in the hose. It's a near miss. The other near miss, they were lifting a pole with a cross arm on it. They were going to bolt the cross arm on prior to lifting the pole. Didn't have a nut on it. Crane started lifting it. Safety observer stopped it. While installing the pole, there were guys on the ground, bucket went overhead, entered the drop zone. It just says, works not to enter a drop zone above or below when people are in it. And again, the A2E, during the briefing, A2E was missing. It was picked up in the switching briefing, and make sure you ask the question if you do have a test packet in drawers. And while scoping, drive through a paddock up in the hills. We'll have a lot of work up there, so just look out for rocks, big bloody boulders, hiding in the grass, keep your eye out.
Thanks, Bert. Some general depot stuff. Mark's kicked around and done all the slings on all the trucks, I believe, Mark. Yep. So the tag colour is now red. So any missed slings or new slings from store need to be added to the register. So see Mark if you have any new ones or grab any at the store. There's some calibration equipment due this Friday. Liam will contact you for details. So I guess if you know, if she comes to see you, you've got something that needs testing. There's a safety topic information board over here. Some of you may have seen. So any ideas to follow up regarding procedures or equipment, etc. for the safety meeting, just chuck it up there and we'll add it to the agenda. back to basics for EWP usage, just something to go through. So ensure appropriate road traffic management is in place, ensure the public are guided out of the operating area. Wheel chocks are always required, there's no guarantee the parking brake will operate correctly. In regards to travel with workers in the bucket, workers may only travel in the basket of a EWP subject to manufacturer's recommendations. If this is recommended, the travel speed must not exceed 5 kilometres an hour, booms must be in the normal travel position, PTO disengaged, and travel distance limited between adjacent poles. Those working below or in the vicinity of a raised EWP must be wearing safety helmets. Couple of safety alerts. So broken outrigger pad. Trucks just use the outrigger like normal, but it's just smashed straight through the outrigger pad and just broken it to pieces. So you'd assume there'd be some damage to that pad before. So just pays to check. If you notice any damage in your pads, take them to Granny, get a new one. And there's a road train near me. This one's quite serious. Powerline crew, you're not really going to see this, but they were parked off the road on a blind corner. As they've pulled out onto the main road, there's a road train coming down, and they've completely missed it. The road train thankfully swerved out the way, fully loaded. How many ton was it? Darren, remember?
Three trailers in a row.
3 trailer road train, so it's missed the truck. But then there's also a crane parked down the road as well, which I had to swerve for that as well. So the B-dub went off the road, caused a bit of damage to the truck, but everyone got away uninjured, thankfully. So learning points to that, we've had 3 heavy vehicle driving related events over the past few months. All of these could have easily resulted in significant injury or worse. Be driver aware, consider your environment, think through the driving risks, keep driving conversations alive with your mates and colleagues. So scary one, that one I reckon that was down Streaky Bayway, somewhere down the edge, I think.
It's interesting afterwards, the TSW person initiating work knew that it was a bad area, they just didn't actually talk about it in the briefing. So afterwards it was, we've had trouble there before. Not a great place to put a piece of switch gear, but they knew it was a hazard, and it's just that local knowledge or something that you pick up with scoping like rocks, pass it on, it's useful information.
That's all from me. Got anything else I want to bring up? Have a good day.